Oh, you're not ready to hear this. You're not ready to lean into an uncomfortable conversation.
Yo, welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Uncomfortable Conversations on the ESB network. Ladies and gentlemen, how everyone is doing tonight? It is your boy Kicking It with Keith once again on a beautiful Wednesday evening in New York City. You guys ready to talk about the New York Mets with me over the next few minutes or half hour, whatever we're doing? I'm your guy, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, don't forget to please follow and subscribe to ESB Network. These gentlemen work very, very hard. They do incredible content throughout the week. Please, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, retweet. It's been a while. We took last week off because, the world decided to go upside down. But we're back. We're here. Episode number 3. Excited to talk about the Mets, which is very odd because I lately haven't been excited to talk about the Mets, which is very odd as well, right? But that's kind of what, living the life of a Met fan is of late. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we do, let's go through the rundown of what's coming up for ESB. We got in the building my guy, Mr. Gorilla. We're back, dynamic duo, Mondays. Thank you, Mr. Gorilla. Live on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. You got the ESB OGs, the round table, the 4 horsemen. You know what it is. Those gentlemen do a great job breaking down New York sports in the baseball diamond. And on Tuesdays, 8 p.m., you have the lovely Sierra holding things down at ESB The Clubhouse. It's a brand new show the gentlemen have. And you also have a Bronx Take Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. It's a space the gentlemen hold, talking about all things pinstripes up in the boogie down Bronx. You also have our show, Queens Boulevard, Thursdays, 5 p.m., where we can kind of recap what's going on in Metland. We'll be there tomorrow, kind of recapping really in detail what's going on in this series. You also have Fridays, Extra Innings, ESB. So kind of a mixture of Mets and Yankees. Kind of get the goal, gist of everything. If you missed the whole week, you go to Extra Innings on Friday. That is the slate for ESB. Weekends, they take a weekend off. God bless them for that. And yeah, this is a hardworking group of people. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and show them some love. All right. Right now, Mets down the run at Citi Field. Actually, you know what, Mr. Gorilla, you had an idea. We could roll with that idea. We could put that up as we kind of go through. It was a good idea. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I'll let him rock. Right now, we're fighting for that last wild card spot, boys and girls. The uncomfortable conversation today really is kind of a progress report, because the progress report is not fully there yet, right? We're trying to kind of get to the end of the season where we can sit there and say we are an October team, but every chance you look, the Mets kind of either tease you with it or they kind of get you believing. So the progress report is in progress, okay? Unfortunately, I started out this show by saying, I kind of wasn't really in love with talking about this team. And that is because they went to Philadelphia and they kind of got bent over, and it was just last night that the Phillies, I believe it was last night or 2 days ago, that the Phillies themselves clinched an NL East division, something that I actually predicted the Mets would win this year. It's quite frustrating, being honest with you guys, that I was pretty confident about that. So it's kind of why I was a little bit on a crash out session, especially losing to them 4 games straight in Philadelphia. We couldn't even get a game out of there. It probably would have kind of given us a nice cushion right now, because right now, as the way things are, if Mr. Gorilla, I know you got the current game up, if we could quickly head over to the wild card standings, because, apparently every other 2-3 days, the Mets, they grow a new tail. For a while, the tail was the Reds, right? Remember that? The Reds were the guys that we have to worry about. Cincinnati Reds, oh my God, we got a series with them. We even had we had a series where we had to go to Cincinnati. We lost that series. It was pretty stressful. And then out of nowhere, the Giants come, and oh my God, Drew Gilbert. Every Met fan online wanted to tell every Met fan alive how Drew Gilbert's the next PCA. By the way, PCA hasn't done much of late, but whatever. And I don't think this kid is ever going to be as good as PCA. But the point is that all of a sudden, oh my God, San Francisco Giants, rah, 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 rah. So that was a thing. And now we have these guys, the Diamondbacks. That's the thing. So we got a little cushion. Mets should win tonight, hopefully. Hopefully. Honestly, pray to God. They should win tonight. It's only a one-run game. Winning this series is big because, you know, the Padres are ahead of us. I don't think we're going to catch them per se, but you want to keep some distance. As today, the Diamondbacks did lose to the Giants. So, honestly, it would be pretty embarrassing if the Diamondbacks, Reds, or Giants, any of those three teams catch this team, honestly, because this team has underperformed for my standards. I don't know about anyone else there. And shout out to the chat. Let me head over to the chat right now. What's up, Armin? How you doing? Hope everything is well. Phillies clinched on Monday. Thank you. Corey, what's going on? Who's this? Ellos quieren hacer como nosotros. ¿Qué lo que, hermano? Hay mucho tiempo estás hablando. Damn, what's up? Hector, what's going on? How you doing? Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe to the ESB network on all platforms. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Give those guys a follow, man. Please. Armin, I hope everything is well. Appreciate you. It's been a while. But anyways, back to what I was trying to get to is that, like, yo, we can't, honestly, it's embarrassing that we're here in this mix. So all I need is a week of good baseball. Honestly, that's all I need. One good week of baseball, and we'll be fine. Honestly, we just got to win this series, and I think we got the Nationals. Come on. You know, and then we go to, I think, Chicago. Chicago just clinched the playoff spot. They're not going to catch the Brewers. So the Cubs are chilling. So honestly, like, it's right in front of us. Shout out Mr. Boone. It literally is right in front of us. We have no excuse. I don't see why the Mets can't win probably 3 of the next 5 games, maybe 4 of the next 5. And that'll be kind of enough, I think. I truly don't think that Marlins series, so many Met fans are really quick to say, oh my God, that Marlins series isn't going to mean much if we handle our business this week. I appreciate you, Mr. Grill. Let's head back to the game, but thank you again. But the point is that I was really at a point where I was barely watching more than 2-3 innings. Today, I tapped in the first inning, so I'm proud of myself. But I really needed a break. I needed to detach myself. And I felt so bad because ESB is such an amazing platform for Met fans and Yankee fans. You know, you really get the opportunity to kind of be a fan here. Shout out to Rich Rivera. And he cares about his people. He cares about me. He's probably wondering, why the hell am I crashing out? Well, those 4 letters are why I crash out. The orange and blue. It's incredible how this team can do this to one psyche. But listen, just a good week of baseball, and we're good. We're good. Citi Field is not closing, I think. I don't think Citi Field closes this week. I think Citi Field will have a little bit of a chance to opening up in October or whenever the playoffs start. So, fingers crossed. You know what I'm saying? Be hopeful. And honestly, the one thing is about being hopeful, something I did want to talk about is we also got to be a little realistic. What I've noticed in this fan base is being realistic can be taken as negative. And it hurts my feelings quite a bit when you're being real and honest, and it only matters when the Mets are doing good. That's the only time it's accepted. We have to be honest when things are bad. The reason why we have to be honest when things are bad and still optimistic. We can't completely write them off. I'll curse them out from here to Kansas City, but I won't completely write them off until they're really written off. But the reason why we have to be honest, truthfully, when things are horrible is because we got to learn from it. We got to get somewhere. We got to progress. There's like this stagnant way of thinking in Metland where truthfully, you can't speak your opinion unless the Mets are proving every positivo correctly. And that's okay. That's okay. But what's not okay is telling people they're bugging when what's happening in front of them It's telling you a story. Looks like Marte hit a home run. I think there's a tie game in Queens, boys and girls. Hold up. Here we go. Oh, I'm a little bit behind, but I got my little ticket there that spoiled it. Let's go. Shout out spoilers. Marte tied this bad boy up. Let's go. Atta boy. The unk of the team. Oh, he ripped the fastball. Oh, yeah. That landed in Santo Domingo. Oh, man. Don't be in traffic in Washington Heights. Everyone's jumping for joy, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. You got to love it. Starling Marte. See, the Mets are still fighting. So part of me, there's a part of me that's not dead yet. There's a part of me that's still alive. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, please shout out Mr. Grilla. Please, thank you. Part of me is that this team has always been capable of more. Always. And they still are. Truthfully. I don't think this team has even played their best baseball, and we're in September. I don't. We've been on a few winning streaks, and a lot of that is due to maybe a superstar going crazy, playing like a superstar, or maybe we just got a groove with some pitching, which hasn't been quite consistent enough, but it has carried at times this season. We could kill it. And truthfully, what's really been the difference this year, and we have to call a spade, is the fact that Juan Soto and Pete Alonso are the biggest catalysts for this team. Juan Soto and Pete Alonso are doing everything they possibly can for this team to be in contention. And I would put Lindor third in that, kind of area, but it's a blend between Lindor and Nimmo and the little run that Vientos had and the run that Beatty had. And we're going to talk about Beatty and Vientos in a bit. But remember, when things are going bad, we don't like to highlight. We really don't like to highlight the fact that we have to improve or we have to stop with this. When we focus on those negatives, unfortunately, that's too much to bear for some. See, and why I love winning these baseball games is also a teaching lesson. Because not every game is perfect. Hence why we have to be honest at all times. 24/7, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out Jacob in the building. What's going on? ESB original. This team has the opportunity 1 through maybe 6. Most people say 1 through 5. I'd say maybe 1 through 6 to compete with any team in the playoffs. And they deserve criticism when they don't perform to their capabilities. 1 through 6, at least 70% of that 1 through 6 should be putting up minimum 3 to 4 runs a game. Respectfully. I don't see many aces in baseball. Some pitchers are good. Some pitchers can handle us, yes. But I generally don't feel that this lineup can be completely dominated. And it's happened quite far too often. And we have found adjustments, yes. But we have to continue this consistency. Like we couldn't hit fastballs earlier in the year. Took us till like August to hit fastballs. Why? God knows. But we're doing it. So stay consistent with it. The negative part of things has to also be highlighted when things are good. So when things are good, we also have to remember, when things are bad, you have to remember why things are bad. When things are going well, you can't get too high. You can't get too low. This team could frustrate you from here to the next series. But this team can also truly, truly, truly put you on a high. The problem is that we're not anywhere yet right now. We're still fighting. We got like the little 2-game gap. We have to keep that gap. The way I'm looking at it is you subtract 2 games at the end of the year, and that's what we got going. Well, we got to cut that in half, clinch that, and we should be fine. But Met fans just got to be a little bit more honest about things. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. I had a Met fan tell me, because I had like a little crash out when they were losing, and I'm just like, like I don't honestly, and I still feel this way even if they're winning. Like there's no point in the team next year, truthfully, like thinking about the offseason and thinking about who signs. There's no point in that, in my opinion, right now. I could care less who signs. I could care less who they trade for. I generally don't want to even think about the winner. I care about right now. I care about the 9 innings today. I don't want to even envision what this team looks like in a few years. And I understand Met fans have to do that with the prospects and everything, but I don't care. I don't. I want this team to stay on top of the task in front of them. I don't want to sit here and say, yo, we're going to be good in a few years. I don't care about that. No, I'm the Met fan that wants to win right now. I genuinely care about right now. I don't care who's getting, all these hits. I don't care who's pitching the shutouts. I don't care if they're a prospect. I don't care if they're a veteran. I don't care who has braids on the team. And clearly that's a big talking point. Shout out to Juan Soto. I don't know how much it costs, but God bless you. It looked pretty nice. But genuinely speaking, it doesn't matter to me. This team deserves to prove to itself its top capabilities, and it hasn't done that. And that's a problem, because I think they should want more from themselves, and I think they believe in that, and I think they see that within themselves, and I think they continuously try. But for me as a fan, and when I keep hearing, oh, we're going to figure it out, or we're going to, and I know the clock is ticking, as a fan, I get a little anxious. I can't be super calm, super chill, and just assume things are going to be fine. Not as a Met fan. That world left me a long time ago. We've experienced quite a lot of hurtful shit. But as I go into tonight's game and as I analyze a few more things, if you guys want to come up and head to the kitchen with your boy, the link will be posted in the chat. That's always open here on Uncomfortable Conversations. Me and Mr. Gorilla are chilling at any point. Right now, we're in the top of the fifth inning. It is a 2-2 game in Queens. One positive thing I want to talk about. I know, some Met fans aren't with it, but I liked it personally, was the whole Jose Iglesias return to Citi Field. This is coming off the fact that they had a whole video package for Jacob deGrom, and then they did one with Iglesias. I wonder how many Met fans have been Met fans. How long you been a Met fan? This is the shit we do. We kind of like to do the weird, goofy shit, but it's not that weird and goofy, honestly, with what Iglesias meant to the team last year. If you think about it, we could talk about how much that's in the past, but what's in the past with this team is so much in the now and relative right now. Because, so many people, including myself at times, have thought, man, what's going on with this group? Is this group not right? Is this group just not built to get the task done? And he was a big part of the glue last year. Now, it sucks that he's an aging vet. It sucks that he's kind of a journeyman. It also sucks that he left such a awesome impression on this organization that it was always going to be, that one night stand with this organization. It was never going to be a long-term thing. No matter how you romanticize what happened last year, that always, had a deadline to expire. And I like that they showed him some love. I think that a lot of Met fans kind of took it a little bit too far up the ass, respectfully. And, what Jacob deGrom did for the Mets was totally different compared to what Jose Iglesias did. But it doesn't mean either or can be, honored, because we don't have a lot of things to celebrate here in Queens, if we're being totally honest. So when good things happen, I think it's good to kind of build that culture and acknowledge the fact that these things did happen and good things do occur. It also helps. Shout out Mikey, I see you. Shout out Edge, I see you in the chat. Shout out Kiki, I see y'all. Appreciate y'all. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe or a retweet to ESB. Point is that we got to take our wins how we can get them, right? Because nothing with this team is guaranteed. As David Peterson hits Jake Cronenworth with the pitch. Men on first, no outs. I think the Mets gimmick thing runs its course when it goes beyond baseball. Tonight is ChatGPT night. Cool, I guess. For some. I could care less. But I like the whole pins thing they did with the SNY crew. They acknowledged them. Little things like that is fine. But we have to start understanding that whatever age you are now, you got to add 10 to it. And remember that is the beginning of the culture, and that's where the culture is going to end up. What they're doing now is for 10 years in the future, right? But this is why I want to establish a winning culture. This is why winning is so important to me. This is why winning is the end-all be-all for me as a Met fan right now, is that because we have to send a message. If you guys don't notice, every few minutes, Bob Nightingale is letting everybody know how the Mets they're collapse. He's using it in the past tense, the collapse. Yes, we gave up a large lead in the wild card. Yes, I understand that. Trust me, every Met fan understands that. But he makes it seem like we collapsed out of the playoffs and we're completely not in the playoffs anymore. And that's a little frustrating. But that's the culture that the Mets have had. That is why winning is so important. That's why every game, every pitch, every inning is extremely paramount to what is the success of the Cohen era. Because you don't want to hear, failure in 4 out of 5 years. That's coming. Okay, there's a lot of people that have tweets in the draft. There's a lot of people that have articles already written. There's a lot of people that have stories of probably what happened in this clubhouse already written, and they're ready to release it because they are expecting this team to flame out. My job here is not to tell you they're not going to flame out. I believe in this team. That is not my job. That is not my job. Is to prepare you that could happen. My job is to tell you that they can overcome the odds, and all those tweets and all those written articles and all those, documentary, whatever, they can be put in the middle of nothing. They can be evaporated and sent into limbo because the Mets can control their own destiny. Again, shout out Aaron Boone. It's right in front of us. The problem is that maybe I'm cut from a certain cloth that maybe not others are cut from. I know a few people agree with me on some of these cloths that I'm cut from. Some people don't. But I stress everything with this team. Nobody should be getting picked off. Nobody should be struck out looking. No error should be made. Not in September. We can't have lapse in judgments there. We have to execute. If I know this team got outplayed, sure, I'll say it. But if I know this team has failed and fell on its face, we have to acknowledge that. Because the goal for this team is not to be flaming out in September. The goal of this team is not even to be in the wild card. I know David Stearns is real quick to tell you guys, all we got to do is get in. I'm sorry, David Stearns. I disagree. I respectfully disagree. I think the goal for this organization is to do as much as they can to extend their legacy to the point where they are respected with one of the highest or some of the highest organizations in the National League. And that starts with hanging banners. I think that this organization needs to start hanging banners along with aiming for the ultimate prize of being world champions. We don't own the yard in the National League East. I would love to own the yard in the National League East. That wild card tag, I want to escape that tag. I understand that is not important for other Met fans, and that's fine. But you have to establish a winning culture. I don't necessarily agree with the mindset of just get in. Because if you just get in, you're also gambling with your season. You're also sitting there saying, well, we don't need to be that good. We don't need to be that bad. We just got to be here. That complacency is just something I don't believe in. That participation trophy is just something that I'm very anti against. And I just feel that you have to, when the time is right, you need to strike. When the time is presented to you, you need to seize the moment. You need to attempt to go above and beyond. You need to show what you are capable of to the world. Because like I mentioned, there's so many people preying on this organization's downfall. There's so many people preparing for this organization to completely flame out. There's so many people looking for the embarrassing moments. We lost 8 straight, I believe. It was 8 straight. Pete Alonso hits the walk-off home run against Texas. I didn't celebrate because I was just more of a thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Because honestly, it felt like the season was saved. It didn't feel like the season was won. It felt like the season was saved. And we took a sigh of relief. And we sat there and said, thank you. Thank you. Because the last 8 days were the 8 days of hell. I was this close from like deleting Twitter. I was this close from not even existing on social media. I was this close from just telling y'all I'm ready to focus on other things. Like me entering the kitchen, apparently, randomly, I don't even know how I got here. I must have went down one of those little green poles in Mario Land, and I popped up in the kitchen. I'm wondering if anybody else is going to pop up with me in the kitchen, apparently. And it is Corey Favs. What's up, bro?
My man, doing good. How about yourself?
I'm getting by. Put it like that. I don't want to get
one day at a time. One day at a time. Listen, let me tell you something too, because we were talking about expectations and won the division. I completely agree, especially where we were in June when you're 21 over 500 and you had what? I think the most we had was like the 7-game lead this year, earlier in the year, and just the fall off. It sucks. But at this point too, like if again, for the purpose of the conversation, let's say they clinch wild card 3. I don't want to go in here with champagne celebrations like we just won the World Series. Listen, I have no problem. Walk out on the field, everybody shake hands, fist bump, have a beer, smoke a cigar, but I don't want no World Series celebrations. I want good vibes, but I don't want to celebrate like last year. The conversation is completely different because last year the team was in the absolute gutter and rallied all the way back. That's something to celebrate, last year's team. This one's more like you accept it. You accept that you found that last spot, and then you just move on. And then if you win the first wild card round then you could celebrate and do what you got to do. I just don't want to see them celebrate like they won the World Series if they do clinch this third wild card, because this year is not the year for it. I completely agree with that.
I have a weird take, though, on that. And I think it's going to sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I think they should celebrate a little bit, because I think that they need not celebrate that they got in. I want them to celebrate that they have a new chapter to begin. Does that make sense?
That's fair. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I kind of want them to just remember. I want them to, all right, have a beer, whatever, but I want them to be like, guys, that was 6 months of shit, and we still made it. 6 months of shit. We could completely go the next month and a half on a tear, but remember that this 6 month was, I really think it was shit. It was like if I had to grade it, it'd be a C, honestly, if I'm being kind. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I think I get it. I could see why that would. I could totally understand why that would. Any Met fan be like, you know, the optics and stuff like that. Remember, I believe in 22 we had that.
Yeah.
When we flamed out and they were popping champagne and everything, and the Braves already had won the division, and we were just you know, taking care of business. I agree, but
yeah, that's the big thing. I will say though, you know, again, if they get it, it's big if you got a lot of games still to play here with the small lead. I agree with what you said before about that magic number being 2. That's why if you get this win tonight, get this win. That way you go into tomorrow and it's almost like a house money game, because then, all right, if you win, it's up to 3, but if you lose, you're still at 2 against all these teams. So that's why keep it at 2 or better, and then they should be all right. I will say one last point. If they get in, no.
Manny Machado grand slam.
Oh, I hate David Peterson now, man. What happened with David Peterson? He is all right. Well, now you got to win tomorrow to keep it at 2. That sucks.
That sucks. Bomb too, Corey.
That sucks.
Grand slam, bro.
God. Well, all right. So tonight's a shot night. You never know. Maybe they come back. But moral of the story: if they find a way in, I actually like how they're set up with a postseason rotation more than a regular season, because you could do a lot of this bullshit. You could do the Holmes and the Minayas back to back. Peterson, I'll tell you what, you get to a wild card round, I don't trust Peterson in the wild card game. I think right now McLean's your number 1 without a doubt. I like that Holmes Minaya 1-2. That's third game or second game, depending on how it plays out. I think you end up going Sproat. And I can't believe you're putting it all on the rookie, but he's actually looked efficient. And Peterson's not efficient.
And it's it's a good summarization of this season. Yep. Because we can hear the logistical takes from the president of baseball operations, but at the end of the day, he has put this future of this part of the future of this team this season in the hands of 3 rookies. And he told us for the better part of the whole season he would not do that. And he did. And you know what? We all wanted him to do it. So we can't do Monday quarterbacking, even though it took long. We did it. At the end of the day, he did it. But the point is that is an indication of all the other players he brought in this winter that absolutely failed. And that is where I have a problem with what David Stern tells us every chance he gets to go in front of a microphone, as if what he did didn't have any bearing effect to what we're dealing with right now. Correct.
I think a lot of fans, they give him the golden boy. Everything's golden. Everything's, that is false. He's got to accept the mistakes that are here. At the same time, I'm not going to be the complete opposite, because you look at the deadline, every move they made, outside of maybe Mullins, but even that, it is what it is. Those 4 moves at the deadline, I would have wanted every single one.
I agree.
I see both sides. Right now, my opinion of Stearns is relatively neutral, because I think he has done good, he has done bad, but he ain't no golden boy that some people are making him out to be.
Absolutely not. And I totally agree with you, brother. But you know what? It's been a while, brother. It's nice seeing you.
Yep, of course, man. Let's see. Maybe we'll pull this one out tonight.
We need 5 runs, brother.
Let's do it. They did it last night. We'll see.
I mean, maybe Iglesias being there, regardless of the jersey, brings the magic back. Right?
Exactly, man. I'll talk to you soon, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. Thank you to Mr. Gorilla, who has another a consistent here on Uncomfortable Conversations. Shout out Spike Dudley in the building. What's going on, my brother?
It's going good, Keith. How about you?
It's good, but I need you to raise your volume up. We can only have this conversation now I can hear you.
Is it good now?
It isn't. I'll tell you what's loud, though, is that amazing outfit. Good Lord. God bless you.
Is it good now?
There we go. There we go,
I was
Jordan.
Put the Bluetooth on the speaker. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're
I
fine.
raised his mic. I had to raise his microphone a little bit on my end here.
I don't know who that was just now, but cool. Anyways,
Ghost.
Sir, welcome back to the kitchen. A reoccurring theme. I love it. How are you, sir?
It's going fine until that grand slam was hit by Manny Machado, of course. And it's just the whole David Peterson thing. I agree with what Kari was saying earlier about the Golden Boy stuff. It's looking less and less standard as it is with Peterson right now. And it's just more reliance on the rookies. And I also agree with what he said on the playoff situation. If we get their fingers crossed with McLean being the 1, the Holmes 1 and 2 with Minaya as the 2nd, and then Brendan Sproat potentially with the 3rd, if they may be. So I feel like those are good points from Kari on his part, and it's just we need a comeback in the works right now as well.
I would, if I was in charge, my wild card rotation would be McLean, Sproat, Tong with a veteran backing him, and then Peterson with a veteran backing him if needed. I would do that.
Yeah. So it's just been the main problems at the moment, but this offense has been looking good, especially from yesterday, but we're hopefully going to try and get these runs back and push forward to the end.
See, Jordan, here's the problem that I have with the offense is that yesterday it was fun, right? We had a great time yesterday, right? Yeah. But every Met fan knows in the back of their mind, when they go 10-plus runs, everyone says the same thing. About what, Jordan?
About like consistency with this offense.
At any point yesterday, did you sit there and say, well, they got to do it tomorrow too, right?
Yeah, I did say that, and it's so far just not on the right pace right now with just the 2 home runs. We need more insurance piled on with the pitching that we have concurrently.
Yeah, and I think yesterday is such an important game because you look for today to be, all right, we get the series, maybe we could sweep, cool. But now tomorrow you're putting pressure on the guys, like it's just, it's so unnecessary to be putting. I feel like all year this team has did an incredible job of backing itself into a corner. And that's the part where I've had enough with this team at times. But Jordan, I don't want to cut you short. I got to take a quick moment. So if Mr. Gorilla could just hold me down for about 5 to 10 minutes. I will be right back. All right, Jordan? Hold on
No
one second.
props, Keith. No
Yes, sir.
props. Yep.
And I also forget to unmute my microphone. Don't worry, the gorilla gimmick's coming out because I didn't think it was going to be stepping in, but we're stepping in right now, folks. Hello, everybody. Hi, Jordan. Hope all is well.
It's going good,
Shout out
Mr.
to
Gorilla.
everybody in the room. Currently, we're looking at 251 people in the building. I got to say, I was getting the notifications on this game, and I was like, oh, bases loaded. They'll get out of it. They're going to find a way. And then there goes the Manny Machado grandson. I was like, Keith is not going to be happy once he sees this come across his screen. This is not going to be good.
Neither was I when it came across my feed as well.
No. So as Keith's stepping away, shout out to everybody here in the room. Good to see our good buddy Corey Favs, host of Empire State of Baseball. I see Odd Villains in the building. Shout out to you, Edge, Armand. A lot of great representation from the Mets Twitter community, Mets Discord community, Queens Baseball. I don't even know what you guys are calling it nowadays. This is just me coming in from the Yankee side of the house. But shout out to everybody in here. Really do appreciate it. Keith will be back here shortly. Just had to step away for a little bit. We're doing a little bit of sidebar watch along with the game. We have the graphic up here, courtesy of the good folks at MLB.com and Gamecast and or Game Day, whatever they're calling it. But Jordan, I guess while Keith's away here, when you look at the rest of the season schedule, ideally, how does this team need to finish off these final few games that we got? I'll pull up the schedule all year, answering the question so we get the exact number of games left. But what are your expectations with this team?
The expectations with this team is that number 1 and 2, it's just the two NL East rivals with the Nationals and the Marlins. They've always want to hurt our season, no matter what the cost of their own pride was. And they've always been pesky with us throughout the year, especially with the prior Marlins series that we had to endure, where Jonah Tong made his debut in that series. And it's just the two division teams. And I feel like the Cubs have been really threatening as well at their own personal record. And I feel like it's going to be a tough ride all the way to the end, but we got to take these games one by one, step by step, inch by inch as well. And I feel like we can get wins 2 of 3 against the Marlins, 2 of 3 against the Nationals, and hopefully the Cubs series is just a prey series for us at this rate, because they've been looking good with a lot of good baseball being played over there on north side of Chicago.
Here's the thing, Jordan, and thank you, Mr. Gorilla, for holding me down. Appreciate you. If we lose today, we got to win Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah,
truthfully, we gotta win the remaining home games. That's 4 wins, and then you have 6 games left. You got 3 in Chicago and 3 in Miami. Now, we're typically not the best team in Wrigley Field. We've had trouble in Wrigley Field. One would hope, being that they're in, it's not a big deal, right?
Yeah,
Maybe we could get 2 out of 4. In my humble opinion, if I were, or me, or any Met fan were to believe in this team, what we talked about last year, Jordan, was, getting the monkey off our back in Atlanta.
Yes.
I am truthful when I say I think it's quite pathetic. Not you. I'm not calling you that. I think it's quite pathetic that everyone expects a team that truly has no ambition right now this year in the Miami Marlins to end one of the highest payrolls in baseball season. And I think that if they go into that series with all they got to do is win 2 games, they should be able to win 2 games. And I truly feel that there's no more excuses anymore. And I think Juan Soto did his job. Pete Alonso did his job. For the most part, Francisco Lindor did his job. For the most part, Nimmo did his job. For the most part, Beatty and Vientos did what they needed to do, right? And I think for the most part, Jeff McNeil did his thing. We haven't gotten much from the catcher's position, fine. But I'm going to tell you what, Jordan, a lot of those guys come to the park, right? And they may or may not perform. But the nights that they tend to not perform is usually the nights where the pitching staff gets blown up.
Yes.
And that has been a consistent theme with this team. And we cannot truthfully continue this consistent run of bad pitching. And this is coming from a guy who said, Soto, home run, Soto, let's go.
Yep.
3-run game.
Let's go, baby.
Soto got one back. Let's go. Soto pulled one back. Attaboy.
His
41.
of the year.
Attaboy, Juan.
Let's go. SOTO Juan Soto, baby.
Let's go, Juan Soto. But the point is that the pitching has to continuously stop putting this offense in a position where they have to be the saviors. The offense should be able to put up their runs, and from there, the game should be buried. But this is it feels like a yin and yang all year, and it's not good enough. And it's not good enough. And unfortunately, there needs to be changes if they don't make this postseason. And I don't know what those changes are, but from the bottom of my heart, nobody under the owner should have a comfortable seat, in my opinion. And I don't think that that's a real stretch. I really don't. I don't know how you feel, because I'm trying my best to not think about the all season, because I did say that at the beginning. I don't want to contradict myself, but we shouldn't have to be sitting here saying, oh, this got to change, that got to change. We should be tapping into SNY, assuming David Peterson should go at least 5 innings, maybe 3 runs, and that is it. And that's the part where I get really upset with this team.
Yeah, it's just also upsetting with the majority of the recruitment that David Stearns did. Most of the flack is going to fall on him, but unfortunately, the job is going to be secure on his part for the most of the time.
Let me ask you a question about David Stearns. When David Stearns says all we got to do is get into the playoffs, when you hear that from David Stearns, what are the thoughts that go through your mind as a Met fan?
I just don't think that's like the expectation that we set at the start of the year. We were expected to do a lot more with the acquisitions that we made, especially with Juan Soto, and it just felt insulting to have a repeat of what we have to go through last season of just like getting in, especially with the core that we have at this time. And I feel like if you want to truly set the standard with an acquisition like that, it's got to be on the higher standard of the precipice.
I want everybody to hear what this young man just said. I don't care if you're, the European champion or hardcore champion. What you just said is just gospel. And I agree with every single word you just said. I truly feel that way. Jordan, has been a pleasure. As always, you've been the most consistent, uncomfortable conversation partner I had. So I appreciate you, my brother. Don't party too hard tonight. I don't know what you do on Wednesday nights, my brother, but just be careful, please. It's a crazy world.
Nah, I'm always careful. It's just usually me in the house for most of the time, but it's fine.
All right, well, rock out, and hopefully the Mets win. Okay, buddy?
All right, you too, Keith. Let's go, Mets.
Yeah. Woodstock! All right. Respectfully, everybody in the chat is pussy. Everybody in the chat is pussy. Everybody who follows ESB is pussy. I'm being real with y'all. I'm having debates with guys who work for ESB, and I'm having debates with Spike Dudley. Everybody in the chat's pussy. Come up. I haven't had nobody disagree with me, and it's getting me mad. Where are the perfect fans? Shout out to Odd Villain. Good guy. He's at the park. He's pissed. He believes in this team, and he shouldn't be at the park pissed. Because he said, I'm going to go watch David Peterson pitch a good game. I'm going to go see Juan Soto and Pete Alonso hit home runs. And I should be able to go home happy. But Odd Villain's not going home right now happy. Odd Villain's sitting at the park saying, I should have stood my fucking ass home. Excuse the language. Sorry. This is bullshit, though. This is bullshit. This is what I'm talking about. Juan Soto, Pete Alonso doing their jobs. I need my shortstop. I need my left fielder. I need my second baseman. I need one of these kids. Something. I'm tired. Shout out to Edge. I'm tired. I'm mad. I'm all that. This is boring. And you know what's going to suck? I'm going to sound so much like Sal Licata that I'm going to hate myself for it, is that if they come back, and hopefully they will. I'm going to say they will. When they come back. Today's going to be remembered because of the offense. That's not the point. The offense should be scoring their runs, holding leads, not chasing for a lead. And this organization does not know how to get from underneath itself. Self-inflicted wounds. I understand home runs happen, but you need to be better in high leverage situations if you want to go to the postseason, David Peterson. People look at you as the ace of this freaking rotation, and you got kids pitching better than you, sir. Not good. Not good. Not good. Brandon Nimmo's up with a man on first base with 2 outs. I need a double. I need a double. I need a double. I need runners at second and third. This bullpen is considered one of the best bullpens in baseball. How about we turn opinions around? How about we turn heads around and attack this bullpen? Sheesh. I'm sorry. Mini crash out. I apologize to the front office of Empire State of Baseball who are watching right now. Trying my best to fix my language. Not good, but this team knows how to get the best out of me. I wanted to talk about Brett Beatty and Mark Vien. Oh, Brandon Nimmo struck out. Lord. Okay. All right. Mr. Gorilla, I love you, man. You're probably sitting there saying, God, I feel bad for this kid. You should be feeling bad for this kid. Mr. Gorilla, I would love to talk baseball on your platform every day. I think you do get it, actually. I think you get me. I think that it sucks that you're seeing me and you get me. That's the problem. That's the problem. Because I don't want to do this on Uncomfortable Conversations because this is not the place where we should be going to crash out. And I'm trying my best to not do that. This is not WFAN. This is a better representation of sports talk. And I'm doing the WFAN shit, Mr. Gorilla.
You're doing the WFAN shit. You got to get away from the WFAN shit. Actually, my name was not even updated. See, I wasn't even ready for this.
Fair enough.
I've been there. And I love that you're, of all people, you're the one citing Aaron Boone today.
He's not wrong. To be fair, he's not wrong.
It's crazy because 2 weeks ago, you said, hey, tune in for a box take. It's the I Hate Aaron Boone show Monday through Thursday. And here we are citing Aaron Boone today.
You know why? Because with respect to Aaron Boone, I hate the Mets. So tune into Uncomfortable Conversations because I hate the Mets. Aaron Boone, if I had to give an honest opinion about Aaron Boone, it's past its point, and I get where most of you guys come from. I get it. But he's not wrong when he generalizes a lot of his mistakes where he doesn't like to take credit for them, because I get it. Because I'm starting to see it with Mendy. But today's not on Mendy. I got to give Mendy, I'm giving Mendy a pass today. Today is not on Mendy. Hell, today's not on David Stearns. No. Today's on David Peterson. David Peterson.
He's your lone all-star. I know some people don't look at all-stars, especially now in September, as like accreditation to, okay, that pitcher's your ace. But he has been. I mean, he is with everything going on with Kodai Senga and the kids. It's so hard to look at a kid who's been up here for a little less than a month, and he's been amazing, and say that he's your number one pitcher when there probably wasn't even a thought in your head, KEEF, at this point before the season goes. Let me ask you a question. I'll ask you a question right here on the show. Before the season even started, how many of Tong, McLean, and Sprout did you think you were going to see this year on the big league level? And did you think that any of those three pitchers would be in an impactful spot of the year where you're talking about the potential of 2/3 of that being in your postseason rotation?
I thought before the season started, only Sprout will get a chance. I didn't see this from McLean. I fell in love with McLean as the season went on. Thankfully, David Stearns did. I thought Sprout, because of the rankings and the reputation, he was going to get a chance. Not a chance to be maybe number 2 in the rotation with a possible postseason berth on the line. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. This is me being a piece of shit right now, though. Mm-hmm. But I never thought in a million years Frankie Montas would be pitching for this organization. Not only did he pitch for this organization, got a nice payday. But anyways, Had to bring that up because I can't let it go.
But
I will say this though. I had a conversation today with a Yankee fan, a good Yankee fan, by the way, not a bad one.
Crazy. That's crazy to find that nowadays.
And he told me, check this out. This is me projecting onto a good Yankee fan, right? He tells me, he goes, I don't want to face the Astros in round 1. He tells me that. And I said, I'm gonna be honest with you, and maybe this is to you too. I wouldn't worry. I really wouldn't. And this is not me kissing y'all ass. But that whole aura of the Astro Yankees, I think that's already past both organizations. And I don't think that Astros team has the dogs. I mean, they're good. Don't get me wrong. They're a good organization. I think to me, top to bottom, they're the best ran organization, in my humble opinion. But the way the team is right now, no Jordan, and I know Correa's been doing good, and I know Peña's good. They have good players, but I just don't think that there's enough teams that could go into the Bronx and handle the Bronx the way I know maybe Toronto can or maybe Boston can. But I think that's it. And I'm saying this because I know the Yankees got starting pitching, and I know the Yankees at the end of the day this year, they got a little bit more than they had last year. They got Grisham, they got Bellinger. You know what I'm saying? They got Stan, whatever. I'm missing somebody, but the point is they got a little bit more, right? McMahon or whatever, Chisholm, whatever. I think it's going to be a tall task for the Astros to eliminate the Yankees this year. I think maybe 4 years ago, I'm always picking the Astros, whatever. The reason why I'm saying this is me projecting onto him, right? And I was trying to give him confidence with his Yankee team, right? Met fan. And he's telling me, the defense, the bullpen, blah, 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 blah. The reason why I was projecting the confidence for him to have confidence, and I don't know how you feel, and I will find out right now, is because I don't know what the fuck is going to happen 7-10 every night on SNY. I have no clue, Mr. Gorilla. I have zero touch with what's going to happen at all. And I know this team very well. I could sit here and tell you so many things that could happen. There's probably people in the chat who can say, you know what, KEEF usually is on point with things. Yeah, I aim to be wrong, but if I had to predict something, I'm pretty good with the prediction shit. This year, though, no clue. But I know the Yankees got about at least 2 real seasoned veterans at the start of their rotation, right? And they got about 4 or 5 hitters that have experience in the postseason and are playing well right now when it matters. I can't say that about my team. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you all these beautiful things about Juan Soto and these rookies, and I think that is the easiest cop-out for Met fans. I should be telling you right now, what I should be telling Met fans or Yankee fans or anybody, I should be telling people how Jeff McNeil won me this game or how this bullpen went 3 innings shutting. You know what I'm saying? How we didn't have to rely on Edwin Diaz today because everybody's pulling their weight. I should be telling people Brandon Nimmo had a 4-for-4 game. I should be telling people, holy shit, maybe Cedric Mullins does something. He did hit a home run yesterday when everyone was hitting home runs. Maybe when we need to drag one back, like today, hit me a 2-run home run or something, or steal an important base or whatever. Point being is that I can't figure this team out. And it's going to be even worse when I have to put my confidence in this manager and this front office in a postseason position this year because I have no idea what to expect. I don't even know if there's any heroics there. So that's all that's the conversation I had today with a Yankee fan. I don't know. What did you take on that?
Let's switch gimmicks.
Fair.
Let's switch gimmicks. Let's go back to what we do on Monday nights. ESB 8:00. Rich Rivera here.
Follow, like, subscribe.
Follow, like, subscribe, do the thing. And thank you all. 292 in the building. That's a huge number for you there, KEEF. And great work as always. Love having you back here at Uncomfortable Conversation. I love
you. That's why I'm here. It's not really
it's a crazy couple of weeks. We had Labor Day. I give a shit about the people who do stuff here for ESB. I look at holidays. I'm like, yo, let's chill for Labor Day. Last week, we don't have to get into it. Crazy stuff happened last Wednesday. It would have been, I think, almost insensitive for us to have a show last week. So
Agreed.
glad we put that as well. But we are back, hopefully, in full stride once again as we are looking down the stretch run. Okay. When it comes to the Astros, Keith, there's a lot of what you said I think is true. I don't think this Astros team has that aura of the 17 to 22 era Astros. I think this is a much beatable Astros team, but my problem is there will always be that stigma. And until the Yankees can conquer the Astros in the most meaningful games in October, I'm sorry, I can't shake that stigma as well. It's too well, Keith.
I'm shaking my head. 7-3. They got an extra run. Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Unreal. Wait.
Oh, no, not 7-3. Lindor got a tag on the runner before the runner scored. Oh, shit. Frankie saved the run. Shout out analytics. All right. Continue.
My whole thing is, and I don't know on the Mets side, and you've been a fan for probably as longer than I've been a Yankee fan.
Sadly.
Has there been a team that every time it got to the most important time of the year to beat that team, you could not get over the hump? And as a fan, you were like, damn, we can never get these guys. And I don't want to see these guys. But maybe there was a year you got them. And you're like, know what? We can take these motherfuckers. Sorry to curse on my own brand.
No, but I mean, are you talking about upper echelon caliber team or like any team?
Any team that you felt like had your organization's number for each time you guys entered a very important game that you had to win. It doesn't have to be an October game. It could be a stretch run game that, those 2007, 2008 Mets that, spun at the very end of the year. To me, that's always it's always going to be Houston. Like, until you can beat Houston at the most important time of the year, that's where, as a fan, I'll feel confident as a Yankee fan beating the Astros and moving forward. But yeah, I do agree. I don't think this Astros team is as strong as the teams we've seen in the past. The teams that did have Springer, Bregman, Garrett Cole, even Justin Verlander, much younger Justin Verlander, not much younger, but they have to beat him in October for me to kind of shake that stigma. Do I still think the Yankees could beat the Astros now as is? Yes, absolutely. I don't feel fully confident.
Let me ask you a quick question before we go back to the Mets. Real simple. Who would you rather face in the wild card? Astros or the Red Sox?
I take my chances with Houston. I'd still take my chances with Houston. Austin's had that number all season long. Yeah. And it also, I don't think the Astros have such an automatic number one pitcher that is such a, that's a win right there. You're laying all your arms down against Garrett Crochet. I would take my chances against Hunter Brown or Framber Valdez, whoever they're throwing game one. Garrett Crochet is just an automatic win, it seems like.
I feel like I feel like when I think Yankees Red Sox, I think close your eyes, point at a wall, whoever I land could win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's always going to be the case, and that's like utmost respect for both organizations, and the rivalry, because I think that's the best rivalry in baseball.
Before I step away, sorry.
I
just had one question for you, and it's a question I've asked on Mondays. Is there a team right now that you feel 100% confident in that's going to be a team that's going to be a World Series team this year?
Yes.
There is.
Yes.
That's surprising. Okay. Who do you got?
Philadelphia.
Oh, really?
Yes. They're going to win the World Series.
Oh, wow.
I have no doubt in my mind.
Is that is this like an official admission of that?
Mm-hmm. Wow. I think so. They're the most complete team in baseball. There's no weakness in that team. Zero. And they're on the verge of breaking up. Even more reason to win. And they can remember what Francisco Lindor did to them last year. Give them motivation. They don't want that to happen again. I genuinely think they're going to run the table. I really hate to say it, but yeah. I think it's going to be them versus either you guys or Detroit. I don't believe in Toronto. I think Toronto is going to flame out as fast as everybody fell in love with them. I surely do.
And this is
their defense is atrocious. That's fine, but it won't matter if their pitchers just shut the other team out. What does it matter? They're not going to be able to field ground balls.
They have enough firepower without Wheeler.
Yeah, I do. I really do. It comes down to the guy they got, Luzardo. Luzardo's the X factor for that team. because Christopher Sanchez, Ranger Suarez, that's the two lefties.
Yep.
Then Luzardo has to be the guy because technically he would have been in the bullpen. So he has to start games. And Taiwan Walker's going to come out the bullpen. So they have depth. You know, we could – Met fans don't want to hear it. It's fine. Yeah, they have flaws. Listen, they're not perfect. I never said they're perfect. But there's not a more complete team in baseball. There's not a better starting rotation. They got right now, arguably, maybe one of the best, other than Chapman and Diaz, they have the third best closer in baseball. They have the offense. They have been proven in October. They have two MVP caliber players leading the team, and they're gritty. And they have a lot to play for, in my opinion. I only say that because I think that team's on the verge of being a very different team next year. They have a lot of free agents. So I just think they're on the last hurrah, and I just think that they're going to win. And I hate it. But I just don't think I don't think the Dodgers are legit. The Mets damn sure ain't legit. The Brewers, maybe. I know a lot of people want to write them off. Those motherfuckers can play baseball. I think the Brewers and the Phillies would be a great series in the National League Championship Series. But yeah, I think the Phillies are neck and shoulders more ready for October. I wouldn't say they're the favorite, but I think they're prepared the best. Also, to answer your earlier question, the Braves, Phillies, and Marlins. Those are our bogey teams, always around this time of year. And last year we did beat the Braves, but it took the Avengers beating Thanos to get through that game, just to make the wild card. That tells every Met fan all they need to know, that it was a miracle last year. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, that was that was kind of the comparison point I was trying to make. Until they can beat that team where it matters the most, I still think that stigma does not erase, despite them being a weaker team.
Fair.
And for those hopping in, I'm talking about the Astros. But I'm gonna get back to work. I gotta do my thing as Gorilla. Maybe eat a banana or two, and then close this thing out. So good stuff.
No doubt, man. We'll go like 20 minutes more. Again, the seat is here if anybody wants to have the debate. But the Mets are down 3 runs. Francisco Lindor saved the run, so we're not completely out of this game yet. There's 4 innings to go, or 3 innings to go by my math. Yeah, my math is almost 3 innings, maybe a little bit less. We said a lot there. We said a lot with Jordan. We said a lot with Corey. But I wanted to get to Beatty and Vientos. I really did. And I didn't want to make this an omission of either. But there's something that I hate doing this in times like this, because there's bigger things. Like, there's more important things right now. Like, winning this game is important, and winning tomorrow, yada, yada, yada. And everybody kind of carrying their own weight. But there's been stretches. There's been a Beatty stretch. There's been a Vientos stretch. There's been a Beatty stretch. There's been a Vientos stretch, yada, yada, yada. And if you combine them together, you get a damn good third baseman. It just sucks that, they're not, Dragon Ball Z and confused and shit. But I think what we tend to forget as Met fans is, at the end of the day, these are 2 prospects that are no longer prospects. They're major leaguers. They've been here long enough. They've both been demoted. They've both been benched. They've both been torn to go F off by this franchise's fans. Excuse me, that was a loaded sentence. The fans have told both of these guys how much they felt about them at numerous times. And right now, it's Beatty. And last year it was Vientos. Right now, Beatty is one of the best hitters on the team. Right now. One of the hottest hitters on the team. Last year it was Vientos. And it should be celebrated. We shouldn't be putting them together against one another. Fans tend to do that, and I get it. But it should be celebrated that this organization can come around with guys like that. And where I'm leading to with this is that they're not always going to hit on guys. Like Acuna, I don't really know. Mauricio, I don't really know. No. Mauricio's there to tell people how to get their hair done, apparently. As Beatty grounds out to end the 6th inning. Yikes. Or it's 2 outs. Yeah, 2 outs, not the end of the 6th. Point I'm trying to get to is that when put in the position that both of these young men have been put in to go through real shit and come out kind of relatively good at the end of the day and be a part of something, not just be left for dead or traded away. The Mets have done really well in this position. For years, I've always said that, as Brady strikes out there, as I praise him, whatever. The Mets have done well, kind of just showing that they can stay consistent through a process. And that is a good thing. Here's the bad thing about that is that, yes, it's a great thing. It's an amazing thing. We should praise it. We should acknowledge it. We should put it, on top of the cake and eat it. There's cherry on top. There's processes outside of this organization, outside of that situation that I have not really felt connected to. And I've felt that a lot of the times, maybe Vientos was on the trade block, or, maybe Vientos was going to be the future, right? And I think he's still part of the future, or Beatty was going to be part of the future. He was ranked high prospect for the Mets only, whatever. And he's had these, nice roller coaster moments where when he's up, he's really up. And you're kind of splitting between the two. I think at some point, though, that process has got to change. And where I'm getting to is that I think at some point they got to commit to a guy. I really do think they need to commit to a guy, because I think that we're no longer talking about children here. We're no longer talking about babies. We're no longer sitting here doing the whole baby Met thing, because now the baby Met thing is towards a starting rotation. I think this team needs to start making really difficult decisions. And when I say difficult decisions, they're going to have to do decisions the fan base hates. Fan base is hating. I'm not saying to get rid of both of them. I'm not saying one of them got to go. And I know everyone's real quick to say one should be the DH. But respectfully, to me, they both done this. They both are here. I don't think one's done more than the other. I think Vientos, what he did last year, was awesome. I think what Beatty's done this year has been awesome. Obviously, the playoff stuff means more to Met fans. I get it. But there was a lot of really bad before that. You know what I'm saying? And I think at some point you got to pick a third baseman. You know what I'm saying? At some point, I know you got the DH. And I know it's real easy to stuff Vientos there. But if, hopefully, if Pete Alonso's back, whatever, I think as a kid his age, I don't want to speak for him, he shouldn't be sitting here saying, I want to be a part-time third baseman or a full-time DH. That's something that I don't think he should want for himself. I think if we go into next year with them sharing third base, it's not the worst thing in the world. Sure, it's not. But we're going to be doing this again. And this, yes, part of baseball, but this doesn't make us better. Not saying that maybe picking a guy makes us better, but somebody at some point is going to have to sit there and say, we have to elevate. We have to bring Lindor. Lindor, fuck, he made an error. Are they going to call an error? He had a ground ball by Machado. Machado's not a fast runner. Leadoff man on first base. Sugar balls. He could have got that. Anyways, the point I'm trying to get to is that I don't want to – I mentioned earlier, I don't want to think about the offseason. I don't want to think about next year. But I think both of these guys can't continuously do the hot potato thing at their base. And I think – it's going to be year 5 of both of them doing it or something like that. Like, we got to move on past that. We got to. Jeff McNeil's here for a few more years, but eventually we're going to have a brand new second baseman. And I hope that's not a tug of war of two people. I just don't want the Mets to feel that they have to sit there and be like, we're going to give chances to everybody all the time. I get it. I understand we have to give these young players chances to play. I don't think we should ever say no to that. But at some point, like, we can't, like, you gotta let everybody know who you are as an organization when you sit there and say, hey, that's our guy there. You know what I'm saying? Or those are our guys for that. Like, it's not gonna end well. I just don't think it's gonna end well. I really don't. And I don't care who they pick. I think both of them have been great in their own rights. Vientos last year was awesome. Vientos was best postseason hitter last year. But you can't say anything about it. This year, Beatty's been the better all-around player. You know what I'm saying? They both have done incredible things for this organization. But what if next year they both stink because they both are in consistent playing time? They're still in the platoon. That's not going to help nobody. It really isn't. Same thing with center field. Center field is a whole worse situation. At least third base is a little bit more safer. Center field is a mess. Everyone hopes Carson Bench is the guy. That's the thing. We hope. What they've done with these other kids has been great. It does give you hope. But, Imagine putting Carson Bench in center field with Nimmo to your left and Soto to your right. That's a lot for a kid. You would hope that there's a little bit more defensive security around them. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to get too deep into that. Point is that I wanted to talk about that before this game got out of hand, and it fucked up my whole flow I wanted to talk about. Because eventually I wanted to get to the bullpen, and I'll touch on the bullpen real quick now. Dom Hamill pitched today. Dom Hamill, I think, just got taken out for Gregory Soto. As the SNY loves to repeat what happened years ago. Lord, we'll talk about that, I guess, next week, SNY and going down memory lane. The bullpen. Now, I don't think there's an exact science, but there was something that was said on Trevor May's TikTok. Shout out to Trevor May. Hopefully we could get him on. Shout out the Gorilla. Maybe you got to shoot that DM. Trevor May made a really good point about when guys are ready to be called into a game. It's an incredible video, by the way. I think everybody who hates decisions that are made by Carlos Mendoza should watch this video. It's an incredible video. So Trevor May talks about what it's like in the Mets organization to be called to the bullpen to get ready to then be mentally prepared to enter a game. And Trevor May says pitching coach Jeremy Hefner goes into the clubhouse, gives him a look. This means I could go into the bullpen. I'm ready. My stuff is good. This means, let's see. This means don't even try it. Now, I'm sure it's way more in-depth than that. But that's Trevor May telling us what's up. Now, Trevor May's not been with the organization for a few years, but, Jeremy Hefner has. Point is that if everybody does this, right? If everybody does this, put me in the game, coach. I'm good. My arm is ready. And they're not. That's a problem. I would hope that's not the case anymore. Because when I saw that video, I said, Lord, I don't want that. I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that as a fan. It made me upset. Now, he went into a much deeper description about why guys get to be called into certain games at certain times. They're given, a sheet like, yo, we want you to face these guys in these innings. So that's when we'll ask you. We want you to maybe get to this part of the lineup at this part of the game. So that's when we'll ask you. So that's why they always say in the bullpen, guys got to stay ready, right? Guys got to be prepared for any situation because a starter has all the pressure on him to maybe get to a point where then he could piggyback with those bullpen guys and come into the game. Why am I bringing this up? The Mets bullpen has been in shambles this year. Shambles. It's been handled atrociously this year. It has been. That's the worst thing about this team is the bullpen. Now, like Corey, shout out to Corey, ESB OG. All the guys we got at the deadline, we probably all would have signed off on. Fair. They haven't performed, though. And truthfully, a lot of the times with the bullpen, you kind of throw shit at a wall, see if it sticks. It hasn't stuck at all. It hasn't. And who gets called into the game at certain points in the game has been mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Dom Hamill got into this game. The only reason why I think Dom Hamill got into this game is probably because Mendy was expecting us to eat an inning because we're down runs. That's what that sounds like to me. I don't think that they sat there and said, hey, Dom Hamill, can't wait for you to get to this part of the lineup, Dom. We're going to come to you and stick your thumb up, Dom. Dom, when we come to you, make sure you got that thumb up, Dom. That has happened far too often this year. There has been a guy who does not belong in this bullpen has been given an opportunity to hold the game together. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not winning baseball. There has been instances where guys who are not good in said inning, and they've been pitched. I've seen Ryan Helsley. Now, I'm not here to defend Ryan Helsley. I've seen Ryan Helsley pitch the sixth inning multiple times this year. See, Ryan Helsley pitching in the sixth inning. He's not been good in any spot, so they're just trying something new. You think they went to him and stuck a thumb up? No, they probably sat there and said, well, what else do we got to lose? That's exactly what happened. There's no sheet that says, yo, Ryan Helsley's good in the sixth inning versus these guys. None. That's because they got it wrong. Ryan Helsley should have been here to help Edwin Diaz. Ryan Helsley should have not been here to been the setup man. They had setup man already. Ray Garrett, Trevor Rogers could have done that, whatever. This is so Edwin Diaz doesn't have to save every game so that when we get to the postseason, if we get there, you got a closer one day and a closer the next day. That's literally the ideology of most fans. We should not be, as fans, getting that right. I should not be going on TikTok seeing a former Met telling us it's a thumbs up, guys. That's garbage. That's garbage. All right? Because if fucking Dom Hamill got a thumbs up today, then we don't deserve to be in the playoffs. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. And I've seen far too many guys who belong making sandwiches at your corner deli get a thumbs up from that bullpen this season. And that right there alone is why the Mets can't get their shit together for more than 3 fucking games. And it's really frustrating. This 7th inning is never, ever ending. But Uncomfortable Conversations is. They had, again, I'm going to repeat to myself, the chat is full of pussies. ESB has a lot of fans, a lot of followers, pussies. They don't want to come have a conversation with me. Shout out to Jordan. Jordan got more cojones than a lot of you guys. Jeff Hardy forever. All right. Corey Favs pulls up because he could. He has a black card to ESB. And the gorilla, he's the boss. It is what it is. But the point is, we're ending. I'm ending this note calling all you guys out that next week, hopefully the Mets are in a better place. Maybe I don't have to call you guys out and have a conversation with me. But I've been here for more than an hour yapping. And my boss tells me I'm really good at it. So how about next week for about 5 minutes, you come yap with your boy. Don't be afraid. I sat here and listened to Spike Dudley tell me the same thing I said 10 minutes prior to him talking. We could do this all night, guys. Just letting you know. All right? I see a meow in the chat. Fair enough. Don't meow, bark. All right, guys. Don't forget, tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to start the space at 5, kind of going. And there's a game at 1 o'clock, so we could do like a post-game thing. I know there's going to be a ton of Met space going on, but I think tomorrow what we'll do in the space, we're going to try and take positives and negatives. So if you come up and talk to me tomorrow, 2 positives, 2 negatives about this series. Maybe 2 positives and 2 negatives going into the next series, which should be a winnable series. But the point is, we'll be back tomorrow and Friday, extra innings. We'll try and definitely make that. I haven't been there for 2 weeks, so I'm going to try and make that this week. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, ESB #1 group. Check these brothers out and sisters. Shout out Sierra. And yeah, man, you know what it is. Wednesday nights, Uncomfortable Conversations. My man Rich Rivera, the OG. Ladies and gentlemen, it's another one in the books. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you again for giving me the time and place. And that's another one in the books, y'all. We are out.